G'day and welcome everybody. Welcome to show number 11. My goodness, I can't believe we are in November already. How fast time flies when you're having fun. Welcome to the Geocaching Downunder podcast. My name is PurpleCacheEater, and tonight I'm going to be joined by Jingeri, the Queensland reviewer. So stick around for question time and interview with Jingeri. Don't forget to have a chat with your geo mates in the chat room. Please keep it PG though. We do have children watching as well. So don't forget to say hi and have a chat in the background there. Make it fun. Also, we've got another winner for the GDU calendar photo of the month for October. So that'll be towards the end of the show. So stick around because maybe it was your picture that won. Okay, we've also got a special thanks to Lainey at LK Consulting Group for the marketing, mentoring, and the coaching program. Big thank you to John and Di from geostuff.com.au for their continuous support of the podcast and the show with the monthly prizes. So thank you very much, John and Di. Also like to give a thanks to C. Michelle, who handles the audio editing and also the video editing for GDU. So thank you, C. Michelle. Really appreciate it. And a thanks to my mum, who is supporting the podcast as well. Now, don't forget, if you would like to win a prize tonight, all you've got to do is go to tinyurl.com/GDU wheel and then put the keyword in, which is Jingeri. Now, it is case sensitive and you will need to spell it correctly. So it is capital J, INGERI. So capital J, INGERI. And we will be displaying that throughout the show. So don't fret if you don't get it down right now. You do have a little bit of time to put that one in, but you can only be in the chance to win a prize if you are watching live. So there it is there. Just head over to tinyurl.com/GDU wheel. And the keyword for tonight is Jingeri. So pop that in there and your names will be entered into the chance to win one of our awesome prizes. Okay, so let's have a quick look in the chat room and we'll see who is joining us live tonight. So we got Ziggy AU is joining us. We've got Datsun 1600. G'day, mate. How you going? And we've got Darren Utcher joining us live. Choke and Chunk, the People's Choice Award winners. We've also got Fitzy. G'day, Fitzy. And James0116, thanks for joining us live. Contester is here. We've got Bill and Di Morgan. We've got Isa Peter. We've got Snappy Tomcats as well. Woohoo! Joining us live. G'day, Husky. Thanks for joining us. Roddy C is here. Doomy16 is also here. We've got Minnie K. We've got Thomas Jenkins. Choo choo. He's joining us live. We've also got Team Canyonero. They're joining us live as well. DTY73, thanks for joining us live. Dunmowen is here. And also K Creek 88. Thank you for joining us live. We've got Blue Waddle coming in from Cairns. Thanks for joining live. And Kitty Catch is here. And Turtle284. G'day, Turtle. Thanks for joining us live. Don't forget, if you'd like to go into the chance to win a prize, go to tinyurl.com/GDU wheel. Tonight's keyword is Jingeri. It is case sensitive, so make sure you got the capital J in the word. If you are listening back to the show or watching later, unfortunately, the prizes will be closed, so don't bother logging in. Okay, well, we've got a big show for you tonight, so let's get started, and we will get on with what events are coming up next?
Welcome to the show!
Geocachers, muggles, viewers,
and listeners. Over to you, PCE.
Let's get on with the show!
Excellent. Thank you very much, Canberra crew, for that very warm welcome. Okay, so we're going to get on to the Aussie and New Zealand events coming up. So at the moment, no more big events this year, but coming into next year, kicking us off very early on in the year, January 17th, we've got the Wollongong Geo Venture. So that one's kicking off January 17th through to the 19th, so the weekend of January there. That one is GCAXG1C. Now, there is a whole bunch of events on the weekend. I think there's an event every day. So jump onto Facebook, go to Geo Venture Weekend in Wollongong. and you can see all the details there. So the Saturday afternoon event is a community celebration event, and there is going to be a whole bunch of stuff happening over the weekend. So make sure if you can get to Wollongong early January, lock that one in and log your will attend. Following on from that one, we have got the Sydney GeoQuest. So the Sydney GeoQuest is GCACHF8. That's GCACHF8. That one's going to be held on Sunday, the 26th of January, and that one's at the Sydney Olympic Park. So if you can make it on down to the Sydney GeoQuest for Australia Day in January 2025, scan the QR code on the screen now to log your will attend. Or you can head to the GC page, GCACHF8, and log your will attend there. Now, t-shirts, merchandise has closed. So if you haven't got your Geo coin or your t-shirt, unfortunately, might have missed out there. Following on from that one, we've got in March, we've got the Sunbury event down in Victoria. So that one's GCAP 417. GCAP 417. That's on the 22nd to the 23rd of March in 2025 down in Sunbury. Very aptly named. Very good. Okay, following on from that, we have the Sunshine Coast Beach Party, which is GCARTY0. So it's GCARTY0. That one's going to be held at the Sunshine Coast Uni. And that's on Sunday, the 5th of October in 2025. If you want to know more details about the Sunshine Coast Beach Party, jump onto YouTube or Facebook and watch the, October episode where we go through that one in detail with Sharmad. So if you're interested, go into those events, jump online, log your will attend. Now, in terms of souvenirs, looks like the next one for us will be the December solstice. So that one is find a geocache, attend an event, or complete an adventure lab location from the 20th to the 22nd of December. And I think, yes, so Cash In, Trash Out Season 2 is still available. That's available to the end of November, to the 30th of November. So just need to host a CEDO or attend a CEDO to get your Cash In, Trash Out Season 2 souvenir. So let's move on to our special postcard from Bonnie. So Bonnie has had a few adventures in the last month. So let us play that for you now.
Hi, I am Bonnie. I am 11 months old, weigh 26 kilograms, and I love to meet new friends. A while ago I was scared by a weird man that screamed something. Since then I have had a bit of a problem with strangers of all kinds. This month I got a new friend, Dad's co-host Frederick. He is a big man, but he gave me a treat, and Dad said he is a good boy, so I decided to make him my new friend. October has been a dark month, so I have been cuddling the couch with my Auntie Unique and watching TV with Mom and Dad. Lots of love. Bonnie.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Bonnie, for that postcard. And thank you very much to Patrick. Speaking of Patrick, let's get on with our show.
Hi, Geocaching Downunder. This is Sweden calling. Now, listen to the show.
Do what Patrick says. Okay, so tonight I have got Jingeri joining me all the way from Queensland. So let me bring Jingeri on for you all. Here he is. G'day.
G'day. How you going?
I'm good. How are you?
It's Queensland. It's coming into summer, so sweaty, but ready to ace some cues.
Nice. That is good. Well, we are glad. Thank you for taking your time out tonight to answer our questions. Really appreciate it.
No worries.
Okay, so a nice easy question to get you started. For those who don't know you, what's your reviewer name and how did you come up with it?
My reviewer name, oh look, there. Woo, is that it?
Woohoo,
Right.
it's on the screen.
It's on my screen. Is it on yours? Don't know.
It's on mine.
No, when I was onboarded, so I'm a child of, well, in the day Ministro, but I'm a product. What am I talking about? Matt, Ministro, Namble got me into it. So when
Right.
we were onboarding and the idea was pick a name, and there's a bit of a tradition in Australia that a name comes from a local language, a First Nations word of some sort. And at the time I was living a bit further south from where I am now, but I was in the Yagamba country. And yeah, I just started going through like a dictionary of interesting words and whatnot, and I settled on Jingeri. Not only is it just like a fun word, and it's their word for hello in the Yagamba language, but when the Commonwealth Games were on the Gold Coast, they had a slogan that involved Jingeri as well, so it had been used a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. And so how did you get started and ultimately hooked onto geocaching?
I feel like it's been my entire adult life, right? It's really hard to pick apart. It was actually a brother-in-law mentioned it to me in passing once upon a time, and I was like, oh, that's a weird thing. Let's look it up. And you have to understand, at the time I was 16, right? So I wasn't driving, living at home, and my dad had gone out and bought. He had sitting in a drawer a Garmin GPS 72. Like,
Right.
Man, if you remember that, you need to poke it out in the chat, right? And he used to use it for like marking fishing spots, except he never used it. So I was like, yoink, that's mine now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I used to just like tap in and tap the code in and whatnot, and then I'd be on my push bike or on the train. And that's where I started, right? I wore that GPS out. I don't think I'd ever learned to use it. Soccer. And then and that's it. It started getting involved with some local people and seeing interesting places. Like I was a young adult, which meant this gave me a really good excuse to go and see things and places and whatnot. I think ordinarily you just sort of wouldn't go out type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what got me really into it. I just love it. It gives a good excuse to go places and see things. And more recently, I really appreciate now, like it's been 15 years, so you can do the math. I have this record of everywhere I've ever been in my adult life because I've gone and I've found a geocache, right? So, now I travel for work, and most of those work trips have a little dot on the map. So that's why I love it. It is just this sort of punctuation and guide for my entire adult life.
Oh, that's great. I mean, it's funny you say that because I do that too. You can see the places you've been by the smileys on your geocaching map.
Yeah, when I get around to logging them, that is, yeah.
Oh no, you're not one of those.
Oh, I'm one of those, yeah.
Oh, dearie.
We'll talk about it later. It's fine.
Okay, great. Dear. So what is it like for you being a reviewer after being a player of the game?
Yeah, that's a really important distinction too. And I think this has come up sometimes, which is all of us, all reviewers, we're a player first, and I'm still a player first. When I'm out and about, I'm not thinking about the reviewer life at all. It comes after being out, going out and finding and hiding and sometimes logging. And so yeah, what's it like being a reviewer? Look, I think the interesting thing, or like the answer to that question, is like the day-to-day of it. So I know all of us in Australia do reviewing at different times. I'm self-employed. This is my actual office where the magic happens and the money gets made and the bills get paid. So I jump on when I can. And so I just had a look before, just as you were doing the intro, there's 12 geocaches sitting in the queue. I probably look at 50 to 60 in a standard week, unless some of you in the chat know who you are, unless some of you put a few hundred in, and that changes my week a bit. But yeah, I jump in sometimes. I think today or yesterday I jumped in on a lunch break, often at night when I'm sort of winding down a little bit. So I spend, a few minutes, jump in, knock out the top few of the queue. And that's what it looks like roughly day to day. But like it fits in between my travel, between my work. I am a tragic at volunteering my time in other places as well, of course.
Love it.
And it's what gets in the way of my logging, right? Which is I'll sit down the computer. I'm like, I'm going to log some stuff, and then I'm such a sucker. I'll be like, I'll just open the queue and see what's in there. And then 20 minutes later, I've like lost the love for the little bit of geocaching spark I had going on, and I'll log tomorrow. It's
yeah. I can't be creative now. I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And just as Janet was saying there on Facebook, is to be fair, when you do log, you write excellent logs. So
It's very kind. Thank you, Janet. Yeah.
dear. So in terms of publishing a cache, how much time does it take to publish a cache for you?
Yeah, you can tell I'm a salesman at times. It depends on your needs and, and the fit. Generally speaking, it does depend. If it's a pretty simple cache and there's some good notes, some good detail with it, some photos, if I can street view it really quickly, it's less than a minute, right? Like have a look at it. Because the way I think about the reviewing process for those simpler hides, it's just a sanity check. It's a second set of eyes to make sure that there's no silly mistakes made, that the coordinates start with a south and an east and they're not in the Sea of Japan. So pretty quick.
Yeah.
Less than a minute sometimes. But then as you get more complex stuff or somebody just needs help with things, and this is not a complaint, someone just needs some help with things, moving stuff around, understanding if this should be a multi or a mystery, or I need to explain something, then it can take a bit longer, a bit of back and forwards. We'll have a response, disable it, hand it back to them. And how long does it take me to write out a log or look something up, or so it can take a couple of minutes, but it's pretty quick, really.
Okay. I've got a follow-up question here from Google Hi, joining us on YouTube. How strict do you think you are as a reviewer?
How long's a piece of string? We're tasked with upholding the guidelines, right? Can I just say I love comments coming in from the chat that are specific. We are tasked with upholding the guidelines, and those are reasonably black and white. I know they say they're guidelines, but they're written.
That's right.
So some of those there really is not wiggle room on, which is proximity. It can't be buried. Don't put it on a military base. Like some of the stuff is quite black and white. I think all of the reviewers stick to that. Otherwise, I'm looking for something that is, logical and sensible. And how strict am I? Probably not super strict. I don't know. I'm a working guy. I don't have a lot of time. I know some reviewers are retired and have a bit more time, but.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get back to another question from the chat room. We got Kimberly Creek here. Who reviews your hides?
Me? No, kidding. For what it's worth, I could absolutely publish my player account hides. Totally good. But that's just not cool, right?
No.
And then the comment, I'm less strict than someone else. Oh, okay, right. But we have a rule that I'll get it as good as I can, and then I'll email one or two of the other reviewers and be like, hey, whoever gets to this, can you have a look at it? And more than once, they have picked up an error that I made. So,
Okay. There you go. Yeah. And does being a reviewer change your perception of the game?
Oh, I'm really interested in what way does it change my perception of the game? If you want to elaborate on that. But as a player, no, I don't think it does. I still go out and I geocache exactly how I want to geocache. And for anybody who stalks my logs, it probably looks super arbitrary, the geocaches I do and don't find, or the places I do and don't go. Yeah. As a reviewer, I'm 4 years into this, so I kind of forget what was new at the time. It is really cool, though, just seeing behind the scenes and how it kind of works behind the scenes. And the big thing for me that I wish I could communicate this to people, like watching people who are interested, is the amount of geocaches that come into the queue that don't happen, that don't get published, right?
Really? Okay.
And it is, I think, the thing that you see, and I know there will be people watching this and people who geocache can get a bit cranky at me for not doing a certain thing or what have you, but the amount of juggling that kind of goes on behind the scenes, proximity clashes, two geocaches in the queue that clash with each other.
Right.
So those type of things are an interesting insight and an interesting solve. And, for some players, sometimes they win and sometimes they were not first in the queue or something. So has it changed my I think it was like my perspective on the game as a player? Not really. As a reviewer, it's an entirely different job.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. We got another question here from Liam joining us on YouTube. How does it go publishing mysteries? Do you try and solve it, or do you just
Nope.
just follow
Short
the
answer.
instructions they've given you?
Yeah. How does it go publishing mysteries? How do I try and solve it? No, I don't try and solve it. What I'm looking for is in the reviewer note, and I will ask this if it's not given to me. I'm looking for kind of like how to solve it, which is more just a walkthrough.
Yes.
All we're looking for is that there is a logical flow. It's not, I don't know, guess some numbers or something, right? There is a logical flow, and there's nothing in there that otherwise is against the guidelines. It's not sending you to, let's say, a third-party website that requires a login, or it's not sending you to something that's not family friendly, or it's not, there's not a hidden waypoint on a military base, right? Like, so,
Yes.
so no, I don't try and solve it. There's a quote I borrowed from Namble, which was, if there's a typo in step 6 of the mystery, I won't find it. That's the community. That's the community's problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
Problem.
enough.
It's very positive.
Oh dear. All right. Well, we'll follow that up with another question from YouTube. This one's from Darren Archer. From my perspective, there seems to have been a significant push to clean out older, unloved, and unpublished hides in recent times. Is that a push from GC or just business as usual?
If I read this correctly, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here, Darren, that is business as usual. If you have unpublished hides in your account, and I know this because I've had it happen to me. So you started a geocache and then you didn't hide it. There's an automated system. It's not me. It's not like one of the lackeys. There's an automated system. If you haven't edited or put a log on that geocache, I forget if it's 6 or 12 months, it auto archives it, and it's to do with freeing up server space or what have you. So that's business as usual. If you do have one that like you're a bit in love with and you just didn't get to it in time, if you drop me a message, I can come and unarchive something for you. But it's business as usual. As for cleaning out older and unloved caches, I'm going to assume that means just geocaches that are out there being a bit unloved. No, unless something comes up in the maintenance queue, and this process where I'll bump somebody for health score, I can disable, or it's been disabled a long time. That only happens if there's like a string of DNFs, or somebody specifically puts what used to be a needs archive, but is now a reviewer attention required, RAR. If something like that pops up, then it draws their attention. But otherwise, if there's a geocache, like in your instance, Darren, out your way somewhere, and no one's been there since 2022, it's not going to cross my radar.
There you go. Alrighty, next question here from Google Hi is, does being a reviewer not let you get FTFs?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was not a big FTFist, first to find hunter.
Here we go.
I was not big into it. I was gently aiming to get to 100. I never got there. But no, because I reckon you'd feel pretty rubbish if a cache got published and some guy with insider knowledge got there first. That's, mind you, I was down in Newcastle just recently and did get an FTF, but it was not my terrain. I didn't know about it.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm a bit excited about that.
Out of area, I like it.
Yeah.
So you don't like wait a week or something, and if it hasn't been found, you'll go out and find it. You just leave it. Yeah,
I don't look for new caches usually, but look, I'm sitting in Brisbane. If there's a geocache sits here for that's not a puzzle that sits here for more than a week unfound, but some people have come into mischief. Yeah.
Okay.
Not a risk.
Oh dear. Another one here from Google Hi is, do you feel bad when you reject a cache?
Like not published one, in general. And the reason is somebody's put a bit of time and love and effort into something, and then I'm pushing back on. Sometimes it's something completely unforeseen, which is there's a hidden waypoint for some D5 mystery hanging around, or just something I didn't know, couldn't know. I feel bad about that. But then, like school holidays rolls around and we get, I assume, like primary school age kids download the app and they go and put, I don't know, some inappropriate container in some very uninteresting place, and it was never going to make it. And do I feel bad? It feels like I'd waste people's time if I published it. But if it's publishable, it gets published. But often they haven't given me any sort of information to make a accurate judgment on clicking the big green button or not. So,
And you'd probably give them guidance anyway, just to say why it has been rejected.
Always, yeah. It's
Yeah.
always, this is the issue. Here's how to resolve it if I have a good answer. But like I said, it's just fly-by-nighters who download the app, hide a thing, and disappear.
Alrighty, next question here for you. Thank you, chat room. Chris Galvin on Facebook is joining us. Does it sitting there as a draft reserve its coordinates or not until published?
Yeah, good one, Chris. And I think this is a bit of an ongoing discussion with the reviewers as well. My rule is the first one in the queue gets the spot. So having it sit there as a draft, I'm trying to think if there's an exception to this rule, but no. And the reason for that is really then easy to game the system. So I could have somebody in my area just put a waypoint every 160 meters in a grid pattern, and then, do you know what I mean? So in general, no. I'm trying to think. There's probably a couple of occasions, I can't put my finger on any, where somebody's been working on something, it's gone back and forwards a couple times, and then someone puts something in. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a sanity call on our part.
Okay. Next question here from Richery joining us on Facebook. I don't always chase FTFs as I don't always want to be the guinea pig if the coords or something are wrong, especially from less experienced cachers. Yeah.
Yep, that checks out.
Okay, question here from Dun Moen joining us from Queensland. As Thomas, if you physically find a cache that goes against the GC guidelines, do you refer it to a reviewer?
Yeah, good question, Lorraine. I don't find many that go against the GC guidelines. I just don't. But then again, I'm not the most prolific finder in South Brisbane, let alone Australia. Having said that, I did find 2 geocaches within a meter of each other in interstate in a different city. I did refer that on to the local reviewer. I have no idea what happened with it, but it was the type of thing where it was just clearly, this is not right. So I have no idea what happened to it, but if I did, it is probably, if it was something that was like a flagrant issue, like I've turned up and I need a shovel to find it, or it's clearly on railway property.
Safety issue,
Safety issue, not as much. And we can loop back to that. It is probably something I would email one of the reviewers and be like, hey, this is what I found. What's the thoughts? Yeah, but it hasn't. And on the safety thing, right? So we review for legality, not for safety.
Oh, okay.
And it's an important distinction, right? So if you put a geocache into the queue and it's up a mountain near a cliff, and I publish it because we publish for safety, and then someone falls off the cliff, someone's going to end up wanting to be responsible, whether it's me or HQ or what have you, right? So I may have phrased that kind of weird. So as soon as we start rejecting stuff for safety, it means the stuff that we are not rejecting and are publishing means that we have given that like the tick of this is a safe thing to do. And that's why there's a terms of use, and you click the agreement every time you open the app that says, I'm happy to put myself in danger, risk, whatever the wording is that the legal department wrote. So I do not review for safety. So if I see something and they say you just have to balance out a 50-meter long tree branch over a pit of crocodiles, okay. Please don't do that.
Please don't. But yes, you are aware of the risks involved in playing the game, and you accept those as your responsibility. So that's where it lies. Yeah. All right, cool. Next question here from Liam on YouTube. Do you have a policy for new caches hiding a cache? When I started, a reviewer said I can't hide until 50 finds.
Cool. That's my personal opinion coming out. No, good question, Liam. Is there a policy for new cachers? Generally speaking, a first-time hider will have a few issues going on. That's cool. There's a couple of questions I will shoot back to them. What's the container? How is it hidden? Just some stuff that's a quick check. And to help them know that there is a process, right? Like, you're going to submit the thing. A second person's going to have a look at it, and I'm not a robot. I'm pretty sure. I'm not an automated system. Somebody will look at it and have a conversation with you, and real people are going to go actually find it. So there's a bit of education happens there. The guidelines themselves say you should have 20 plus. I think it did used to say 50. Maybe somebody will correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So that's probably quite reasonable. I'm guessing this happened a little while ago, Liam, that it's quite reasonable. I would have pushed back and said, go and find 50. And sometimes it can be, if there's a lot of issues, it might be, I'm going to just pause this process until you find a few more. I can see that would be a reasonable as well. I personally, if you ask me without the reviewer hat on, I think you should go and find 100. Because most of us living in any sort of, unless you're Darren Archer actually out in the sticks, most of us are easily within a couple of months of 100 finds. But at least 20 as per the guidelines, but more is better.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Good question. Thank you, Liam. Okay, question here from The Bug. Is all the information posted on post reviewer notes eternally assembled by reviewers and lackeys?
Eternally accessible, like it's archived or something? I do not know.
There you go.
I don't know. The stuff that you post to me when you submit a geocache, I can see it. Surprise, I can see what you write to me.
But does that disappear once you publish the cache?
No. So
records?
I can still see it, but is it eternally accessible? That I don't know. I would assume everything I can see lackeys can see because they're a little more powerful than me.
Of course.
But how long that sticks around, I couldn't tell you. Do not know.
All right, question here from Richery. I reported one found north of Stanthorpe during the mega, as it was on a railway line. That was rarely used except by steam tours, but given they are deaf caches, I figured it wasn't a good spot.
Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about too. And the good news is that in the bushfires a couple of years ago, the bridge in Stanthorpe burned down, so the train only uses half the line now.
Okay.
There's a fun fact. I lost a few
geocaches
geocaches
loophole.
down there.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Just have a bushfire and then opens up more spaces.
Yeah. It clears the board. Oh, dear. All right. So what do we got here? We got Isopeta says, that reminds me that I still have to retrieve a rejected cache because it clashes with a multi-final. Okay. Yep,
good idea. I volunteer a lot of my time as well doing waterway cleanup. So I literally get in a boat with a non-profit here and we go pick up rubbish out of the waterway. And they know I'm the guy to hand the geocaches to if it's got a logbook in it. And then I get to play the game of going through the log and trying to work out who owned it. But it is not a small number of geocaches that I end up getting given from them just in the Brisbane like Pine Rivers up here.
Wow. That is a game within the game.
Yeah.
The game that only reviewers can play.
Anyone can find the geocache at the coordinates. Do it in Moreton Bay.
Yeah. All right, I got a question here from Paul Novacell joining us on Facebook. G'day, Paul. Thanks for joining us live. Is there a limit to how many caches you can own? The question is based on the evidence that cache owners with hundreds of hides don't tend to maintain them so well. What is your view on cache owners maintaining 1,000 plus caches?
Yeah, I think I own about 60 and about 4 of them need maintenance, so I'm not the guy to ask. But I think it is reasonable that you would. This is in like when Thomas is the supreme leader of the world in geocaching. I think it would be reasonable that you would hide one geocache per 100 finds, based on just pretty much probably the same conclusion you've come to, Paul. Having said that, there is no guideline on it. And if people are submitting a bunch of geocaches, a couple of dozen, couple of hundred I've seen, just sort of, in a trail or what have you, and they have a plan to maintain them, it's not my call to tell them that they can't. I do commend them, though, for just the expense in investing that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cost and time, my goodness.
Yeah.
And that's part of the guidelines too, I believe, is don't put a cache out if you feel like you can't maintain it or, like you've got to have the maintenance in mind when you put one out.
Yeah, and I see the key word is it's owner maintenance,
Mm.
right? So and this is the age-old question around throwdowns.
Yeah.
If somebody's doing a throwdown, it's like if the owner's not looking after it, then the guidelines say it needs to be owner maintenance.
And don't rely on community maintenance. It's not up to.
Yeah, if you set someone up, that's different. Or if you've moved away from an area, like if I hid one down your way and I contacted you, I put a note. Cool. I highly doubt that's going to be an issue.
Yeah. Okay, so another question here from Lorraine on Facebook. So if a cacher placed a glass cache and they mentioned it when they sent it to the reviewer, would you not publish it?
I feel like, Lorraine, what you're asking me is, can I hide a glass cache and just not tell you about it? No, yeah, glass is usually inappropriate for multiple reasons: bushfires, rocks, and they're often a ex-food container. Most glass containers I see, like a Vegemite or something, which means the critters want to nibble on it, and it's just longevity. You need to hide for longevity. Yeah, glass jars are my trigger. Yeah, out your way, Darren. That would scare me as well. Yeah,
absolutely. So if they told you about it when they submitted the cache, you would knock it back.
Yep. So I have a template log which talks about food containers as well. That's explicitly denied in the guidelines. So if somebody's got, like a, I don't know, ex-peanut butter jar or an Eclipse min that's had nothing done to it, shoved at the base of a tree, nah. Well, I think we can do better than that.
Yeah, that's right.
And for realistically quite a small investment into, less than $10 for a systemic container or ammo boxes come on sale. You can make stuff out of PVC that's bloody good.
Yeah.
It's not super tricky.
No, it's very accessible. Question here from Google. Hi. Are you biased to some hiders and give them more leniency with their hides?
No. Generally speaking, as I get more familiar with a hider, I understand their style a bit, and I can usually get away with a little bit less detail in the logs.
Yeah.
But I am equally annoying to like my geocaching friends in the review process as I am anyone else.
Yeah.
So no, there's not
rules are the rules.
I mean, leniency in the terms of would I bend rules or do something different for them? No. Fair enough. And are you inclined to publish a cache if it's a DT you need? I don't even know what DTs I need, man. So, nope. No, I have a weird sort of self-imposed rule. I usually look for the oldest DT that ticks the box that I need, and I usually do it when traveling because I've done that here in Southeast Queensland. So a new cache that ticks the DT wouldn't end up on my list, which is how convoluted can you get, right?
Yes.
No.
Nice one. All right, Hev Walker here. What is your feeling about very old caches being maintained by a community member who can maintain it?
Yeah, and I know down your way, Heather, there is actually a community caches explicitly written, or at least is in Victoria. Sorry, I don't know about South Australia. Is not something we've officially set up for Queensland, right? But the distinction is if I see, for instance, everybody knows Queensland, the 2000 geocache hidden here in Queensland. I know, and everybody knows, it is maintained by Crew 153. He posts notes on it all the time. Is very clear before an issue has come up that somebody cares about this geocache. The difference is it gets into the maintenance queue, and it's hidden in, I don't know, mid 2000s. No one's looked at it for a while, and then all of a sudden somebody wants to maintain it, right? So the issue comes around, we want to see that somebody is caring for it and maintaining it before it becomes an issue. Because, like if something's hidden, let's say 2007, which, I mean, I've not been geocaching much less than that, right? People, if nobody looks to be caring for it, then maybe everybody who's going to find it has found it. So if there's an old geocache that you want to see continue on and be a bit resistive to, issues in the future, then look after it now.
Cool. All right. Another question here. Angus Brain on Facebook. Are there certain cache types that you feel are underutilized, hiding styles that you get excited to see in the queue?
Ooh, That's really interesting. Cache types. The cache type that I probably see the least is like solid multi-caches.
Mm.
And by that, I mean a couple of waypoints and, it's something that's, because I started geocaching in 2008, right? So that's sort of the lens I have on this, that multi-caches
Yes.
used to be a bit of a mission, rather than just an offset, answer some questions type thing. I have this common theme, which is, I think, like what makes a good geocache, what are the geocaches I like to see, is the stuff that has solid respect for people's time and attention, which is, am I going there just to put my imaginary name in another logbook, in the end of a stump or guardrail? Yeah. So something that I can go out and there's a bit of an experience, there's a reason to take me there. Either, there's some sort of gadgetry going on with the geocache or a bit of history, or it's a cool location, the classic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Those are the type of things I love to see in the queue, because that's what I love about the game. And I know everybody, loves different aspects, but
Yes.
that's the type of things I love to see. So therefore, I hope other people like to see that stuff as well. And, I don't think it takes long looking at favorite points on the map to see that that is appreciated by a large portion of the community.
Yeah. All right. Follow-up question here from Google. Hi. If a hider violates a guideline without telling you, and then you find the cache and see something is wrong with it, will you be more on edge when reviewing that particular hider's caches in future?
Yeah. So if there's something that violates the guidelines and we find it, that's probably an immediate disable to rectify the issue. Can jump in and do that. Will I be more on edge? No, but it's the type of thing I'd keep in mind and probably just make sure that they tell me about that in future.
Do you have a bit of a list or sort of just an awareness of particular hiders that sort of push boundaries and need a bit more attention?
Bit of an awareness, if anything.
Yeah.
I haven't got something written down here or what have you. Bit of an awareness, though.
Okay.
And, the people I see in the queue the most often, it's not an issue. They know what's up because they've hidden, a squillion.
Yeah. All right. Question here from Patrick, joining us from Sweden. Nice early in the morning over there. What about where I goes? Do you get them a lot of them now that ALC is almost the same?
ALC? What's an ALC? Someone's going to have to enlighten me.
That is a good question.
Great. I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Yeah. Do you get many where I goes anymore?
Adventure Labs, Ad Labs.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
We refer to them as ALs here in Australia, Patrick.
And I call them Ad Labs. Oh, well, we've got a state difference as well. Yeah, there we go. Cool. The chat's going nuts. Love it.
Great, thank you.
Where it goes, do I get a lot of them? Yeah, still get a lot. And tell you what, I had a very embarrassing moment. I think it may have been at a mega event. We were talking about the trail of where it goes, those reverse where it goes. You put the 3 things in, and then it tells you the distance, and you do that a bunch of times, and you work out where it is. And I was like, oh, who's got the time to do that hundreds of times? And it turns out there's like just a solver for it that people use. So do I get a lot of where it goes? Yes. And I think they're kind of overutilized in that space, because to me it feels a bit like just a mystery and a weird icon to get for it.
Yeah.
That's my experience, right? Do I get a lot of them? Probably no more than anywhere else, I would guess. But going back to the underutilized cache type thing, I'd love to see some cool, imaginative where it goes. But you're probably right in that they are a bit more Adventure Lab flavored.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, Darren's got another extension to that question as well. Has the massive proliferation of Adventure Lab caches slowed down the queue of classic cache hides?
Don't believe so. I don't believe so. And that's based on me looking at the queue every now and then. If HQ have that kind of data for a region or a planet, I don't know. Totally not sure. And I hope it's reasonably known, but if it's not, I have nothing to do with Ad Labs. So Ad Labs are not Lorraine's beat me to it, not reviewed. Nope. So they're self-reviewed or published or what have you. I can't remember, it's been a while since I put one out. The only thing that we look at is if there is a bonus geocache associated with it. So obviously that comes through my queue, and I need to see that there is an active published Adventure Lab associated with it. That means when I click publish, it is findable. So
Yes.
as long as that geocache complies with the guidelines, cool.
Good one. All right, we've had a few more questions come in through the chat room, so we'll go to there we go. We'll go to Tank Engine. Choo choo. How do we do maintenance on an adventure lab that has a needs maintenance and report it? How do we
Yeah.
report it?
Can I just say I am eternally cranky at Thomas, right? Because my name's Thomas, and I'm so annoyed that he got in earlier and got that name. You know, you just see some people's username, you're like, God, I wish I
Yes.
thought of that.
Like,
You're one of them,
shoot, that
Thomas.
was really good.
It upsets me every time I go to Canberra. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Sorry, Thomas, we've lost your question. All right, Tank Engine says, how do we do a maintenance on an adventure lab that needs maintenance? How do you report it?
I'm not 100%. Is that in the? This is going to be one for the chat. I think it's in the app or something. There is you can report it or report an issue, and it goes to the owner. And then there is a process where eventually it goes to HQ. But I'm not 100%.
Right.
I don't do adventure labs.
Oh, there you go, insider knowledge as well. All right, another question I just saw come through the chat room. There it is, Datsun1600. So if we don't do anything about our 2025 community celebration events shortly, will it be archived? Is there a time frame for this event?
Yes, it will. And this is a classic example of, I know the answer is yes, and I can't tell you the date. I would have to go look it up. And again, somebody probably has an a community celebration event open, and it's got the date written in it, or the blog post, wherever it's written. But yes, if you don't submit it by whatever that date is, it will be archived by HQ. And don't worry, Datsun, I have one as well. I haven't made up my mind, and I'm a bit panicked about it as well.
People. Oh dear. All right. We've got Heidi here joining us on YouTube. Do you feel adventure labs belong within geocaching, or should they be separated out like they did with waymarking, and the stats are not combined with your geocaching stats?
No, it's a good question, Heidi. And this one I can only answer personally as Thomas, and that is yes, I think they should be separated out. But they're kind of baked into the cake now, so we can't unbake it. Like I said, I don't do ad labs, so I think I've found 53 ever, like a few gadgets at Megas, and that's about it. So I think it's a bit weird that I can answer a question and get a geocache fine for it, but that's just me.
Oh dear. Yeah, Beryl, thank you. With the rest of us, she was given a virtual cache and still hasn't worked out where to put it.
Same.
That's good.
Yeah, not sure.
All right, question here from Gliss, joining us on YouTube. If we submit a cache for publishing and ask that it be published at a specific time, is that something you can auto set up, or do you manually press the button at the time asked for it to publish?
Yeah, that's mostly driven by my Google Calendar. Generally speaking, if you ask for it to be published at a specific time with a reasonable reason, and that's just straight up, how long will it take before folks want it published quite specifically outside, on their mate's route home after they've knocked off work, like it's that kind of thing. So if there's a bit of a reason for it, because it's a bit of a setup, right? A bit of a setup on our end. That being said, the guidelines talk about you need to submit a geocache within, let me start that again. I am tasked with looking at every geocache in the queue within 7 days. Generally, we get to it a bit quicker, right? So that means if you put a geocache in, there's a potential that will be a week before I look at it, which means if there's any issue with it and I have to hand it back, we're now into 2 weeks, right? That being said, most geocaches that get published in the first pass. So if you're going to submit something and you want it published at a specific time, give me 2 weeks, right? Submit it 2 weeks before, and then we know. Like I don't want to disappoint you that you want it published, on the 15th of November, and that's, that's not a great experience.
Yes.
So I'll put in the effort, but I ask the owners put in the effort as well.
Within reason as well. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, 3 a.m. on
Saturday.
Calm down.
Andrew Bush, reviewer, joining us from New Zealand. Thanks, mate. Community celebration events will need to be submitted by mid-December 2025, as the last date for an event is the 31st of December 2025. So again, that 2-week notification for events. So you've got till the mid of December. Thank you.
13 months. Great.
Here we go. Sharmad, in New Zealand, the reviewers don't review in the state they are in. Is this something that may or could happen in Australia?
Are you asking me to review elsewhere, Mick? Jeez. I mean, in general, so I review where I am. Bunjil reviews where they are. South Australia reviews where they are. But like Nambull reviews outside of his region, as does Balayang. Balayang does not review his state at all. So it does happen in Australia. I mean, you know, Queensland used to be dealt with by going backwards. There was Ministro, and then there was the frog. Golly, somebody will give me the frog's name. Tiddalik was too, and then before that the none of which. So I'm the first reviewer who's like lived in Queensland, right?
Ah, right.
Yeah. So you know, there's pros and cons from this point of view of having somebody who lives where they review. One is I'm here in the community. You can usually find me at an event and have a chat. So that's pretty cool for transparency and access and that type of thing. Also, I'm a lot more familiar with Queensland than Adelaide, right? I've been there once. So it does happen, and sometimes it does not.
Cool. All right, I've got a question for you. What makes a good cache, in your opinion?
Yeah, so I think, like I said before, is having respect for people's time and attention. And that is, I see geocache hiding as this sort of this expression of yourself, this shared piece of your universe, which is I want to show a particular skill I have. So whether that's, you know, PVC creation, or, you know, at the moment I'm making timber geocaches because that's the phase I'm in, or you know, there's a particular style of puzzle that I'm interested in, or there's a really interesting location I want to take you to, or there's a particular skill I'm into, like kayaking or tree climbing or something. I feel like that, where you're showcasing something of yourself, is really interesting. They're the geocaches I find interesting. So, you know, I did a road trip a couple of years ago down to the Blue Mountains, and it was driving along out the back of, I don't know where, getting towards Bathurst. I forget where I was. And it was like a couple of hours into this drive, and I needed to stop. It was like, I was a passenger and was checking the app, and there's a geocache up here on the left. Great. And pulled up, and it was a lookout over the Cape T Valley. And it was fantastic. Like, heck of a spot. Stop. Would not have stopped there if not for the green dot on the map. And then I was like looking up like things to do in around the Blue Mountains. It doesn't show up in that many places. So I see geocaching as this beautiful transfer of local knowledge. And so again, I think a good geocache is respectful of people's time and of their attention.
Good one. That's a good one. What have we got going on in the chat room here? Chris Galvin joining us on Facebook. Do you personally like to go after crazy hard mysteries like GCAN 369, Square Eyes, or a nosebleed that has been unsolved for a year?
I was going to say, I don't know that geocache, but it does actually ring a bell, which means someone's whinged about it somewhere in public. No, not really. That sounds like a cool challenge. Don't get me wrong, I have had puzzles that I've had saved away in an Excel file and whatever and ground away at for a long time. I am really indignant about like not asking for help, and I'll just carrying on. So I'm really annoying and I guess unsociable in that way.
Yes.
But is it something I would go after? If it was, yeah, maybe. Am I? No. Because I think that geocache is not near me, right? So if there was one in Brisbane that I hadn't found that was a bit like that, yeah, I probably would. But yeah, there's the answer I don't have for you. Thanks.
Well, here's a question for you, thrown out of the left field. What's the best cache you have ever found?
Oh, it depends what category, right? My 500th find was a fantastic multi here in South Brisbane called Iniduo by Regainer. People will know it. That sticks in my mind because it's just fantastic for when I did it. Beautiful use of the landscape that he had and some different skills. I'm trying to think of actually that photo there is taken on the summit of Mount Barney. That was my 7,000th find. It was the first time I'd done an overnight hike. So we pitched our tent 800 meters above the car. That's just where it is. And then went up there, and I nearly didn't do it. And Another
Yeah.
mate had a milestone. So that's just super memorable. Recently, I did the Ape Cache in Seattle, and that is
Oh, okay.
far out. That is cool. There's a cool
Yeah.
spot. So best cache depends what category, but there's a few.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, another question from Liam. Do you ever correct DTs or wish you could or did? It seems like it's so subjective to the area and the hider. What about people hiding DTs for friends or alternative accounts?
Yeah, nice one, Liam. I think it's abundantly clear when someone's hiding DTs for their friends or their other accounts. I think that is just clear, and if you want to do that and have that known, then good on you. Do I ever correct DTs? No. So difficulty terrain, because it is subjective as per the guidelines, is something I'm not tasked with reviewing. That said, if I see something that's clearly, I don't know, needs a kayak and they've left it as a D1, a T1, then yeah, I'll drop them a note and be like, you sure? Often it's just a mistake. It's an oversight, right? Same as a typo award. So do I ever correct them? I mean, look, most people who are being honest come in within 1 star of where I would probably do it, just based on sitting here in my home office, right? So most people are quite honest about it. And I think that's the thing for people to keep in mind, which is just to be honest about it. And I think, you know, if you're hiding a geocache because it attains that certain DT, that's a bit weird, because it usually, I don't know, it usually ends up a tree or something a bit weird.
Yes.
But I like grinding my way up a mountain for a T4.5. So there you go.
Horses for courses.
I'll swear at rocks all day. Yep.
And is there one thing you'd love to let cachers know or ask them in regards to hides and finds? Is there something you'd really like them to remember when they're doing that?
I mean, in terms of hides, like I said, is respect for people going out, spending their time and their attention on a geocache. And I look at this as well as you want people to have a good time so that they come back. And, you know, that's not because I'm paid by HQ or something. Like, I'm a volunteer, right? But, you know, I've stuck around this game because it continually provides me moments of joy and excellence. And I want to add, you know, I want to see that added to, right? If you're not out having a good time or you're finding stuff that's a bit uninteresting, people aren't going to stick around. So I think have respect for people's time. They're going out to look for your thing, make it worth their while. And in terms of finding is, you know, a little bit of respect for the love and time and effort, probably cost as well, that people have put into hiding a thing.
True.
And, you know, you can see if someone's put in effort, even if it's not up to your son. You can see they've put in effort. Come and see my special place, or I've tried to build a thing, or whatever it is. Like, that's cool and worth appreciating. So, you know, a bit of respect and a bit of assuming best intent of everybody around, I think, goes a damn long way.
Yeah, good one. Question here from Amanda joining us on YouTube. What happens when you're unable to review? For holidays, etc., for a length of time?
Yeah, so in 4 years, I've done this once. I just got one of the other reviewers to cover for me. This was actually, it was while I was off getting the ape. I was away for two weeks overseas, so it just wasn't going to happen. But generally speaking, like, I travel for work, so I've got a bit over 2 weeks in Sydney later this year. I'll take my laptop with me and I'll probably keep on top of it. If I'm getting out of hand, I can ask one of the other reviewers to jump in and mess around. You know, Numball used to review for Queensland, so he's familiar.
You can share the load.
Yeah. And I've covered for somebody sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Do you appreciate high terrain caches?
Yeah, in general. Yeah. I enjoy a good mountain climb, go paddling quite a bit. A couple of weeks ago, we had the canoe out. Yeah, and when I hide them, I'm a bit of a pest for putting geocaches in mangroves or in annoying place. I love making people get mangrove muddy. Oh, it brings me joy.
Oh, wow. You are just mean-spirited to the core, aren't you? The stinky mangrove mud.
Yeah, you're going to love my next hide. Anyway.
Goodness me. Now I'm worried. Oh dear. All right. Well, that's all the questions I had for you today, Thomas.
No worries.
Was there any advice or guide that you want to leave people with for hiding a cache?
I don't think so. The only thing, I'm sure it's been said before. I saw that question. No, it was not a tax dodge to Seattle. That was me post-tax. Woohoo! I'm sure it's been said before. Is a large part of what we do is a sanity check, and if you before you click submit, I mean, assuming you've like read the guidelines and done all those things as best you can and made an effort. Before you click submit, a quick proofread, all of those fields that you can fill in from title, DT, who it's hidden by, the date, the description, the attributes, just make sure, have a proofread and sanity check it yourself. That's probably, 50% of the issues that we pull up are just silly little things that are easily forgotten. So that's probably the biggest advice. And yeah, assume some best intent and be patient.
Fair enough. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for spending your time with us this evening. I really appreciate it. And the questions have been really fascinating to hear your answers. So thank you.
No worries. Happy to help. Good fun to hang out and watch all the questions.
Absolutely. Well, stick around. Don't run away. We will get on to... Oh, there you go. Diana says, what's your caching name? We need to avoid those muddy mangroves.
Yeah, it's
you've been blacklisted.
politically iffy, but I am Captain Terror. It is linked in my reviewer profile.
Oh dear, you're going to be blacklisted. All right, let's get on to our photo comp of the month. So stick around with me, Thomas.
Do you think I've got a chance, do you reckon? What for? How about the calendar photo of the month? Let's see this month's winner.
Well, hey, it is video. Well, not video. It is photo comp time. So let me put on the screen this month's winner. So drum roll, please. The October winner is... Yay! Greg and Jen from Western Australia. I believe they're still in the chat room. So congratulations to Greg and Jen for winning the photo comp of the month. This one here is a picture of, I don't even know what you call them, but the beads where you've got to put the letters on the beads to make a word. And what it is I've just scrolled too far. Hang on one second. So this one is GCATR26, and it is HTO5, the Holland track. And so what it is, it's a series along the Holland track. Most of the caches are field puzzles, mostly based around Shrek and his antics. So to log this one, there's a large 20-litre bucket that has instructions clearly labelled on how to log the cache. With 2 smaller containers inside, there's plenty of beads and pre-made bracelet strands. You need to find the letters in your caching name, then put them on the stretchy bracelet band. So that's what Greg and Jen have done. So congratulations to Greg and Jen. Thank you very much for submitting that photo. It was a favourite for October. So we'll see that in the 2025 GDU calendar. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Greg and Jen. So that is the photo comp of the month. Don't forget, if you would like to enter the photo comp of the month, head over to Facebook. The post is pinned to the top of the Facebook Geocaching Downunder page. Just need to go into the comments, pop in your picture, make sure it is your picture or you have permission from the owner of the picture to submit it. Put in the GC code and give us a bit of a story if there is one attached. While you're there, vote, and all you need to do is just react to a picture, a love, a like, a laugh, anything like that is a vote for the picture, and that picture could be in the next GDU calendar. So thank you very much. Congratulations, Greg and Jen. Okay, let's move on to the prizes. So Allied Oz, tell us all about it.
Hi PCE, it's Allied Oz here in Whadjuk Noongar country, also known as Perth, Western Australia. My friend and yours, John and Di from geostuff.com.au, have some prizes for you. Very generous, as they are every month. Let's see what they are.
Thank you very much, Allied Oz. Okay, so thank you very much for the prizes at geostuff.com.au for all your geocaching needs in Australia. John and I have very generously donated two prizes this evening. Now, let me put on the screen what they are. That was them, I think. Yes. So the prize is a Snag the Tag hider pack, and it is the cowboy costume green door one. Now, there is 2 of these to give away, and they are worth close to $60 for each one. So what I need to do is I need to ask you a favor. Is if you have put your name in on the prize wheel to win one of the prizes tonight, because of the value of these prizes, I want you to promise me that you will put out the coin for people to find and not just keep the whole pack for yourself. So you have to make that promise to me. And if you think you're not going to get around to it, or you've never made a Snag the Tag account, you haven't logged in, you're not quite aware what the game is, then let me know if your name gets drawn, and we will redraw the prize. Because of the value, we really want to make sure that the prize is used in the way it's intended. So we really want the Snag the Tag to go out in the wild so that people can play the game properly and not just get stuck in someone's drawer or shelf at home. So you got to make me that promise. So all your names have gone onto the wheel. Now, Thomas, what I'm going to get you to do is we're going to draw 2 of these prizes. So I'm going to share my screen, and then we will get started with the prize. So now that I have gone full screen, I've lost everything. So let me share my screen here for you. Done.
The space
Okay.
is real. Yeah.
I know, right? The sweating is unbelievable. All right, Thomas. So when you're ready, what I might do is I might get you to give me a countdown from 3, not from 25 or something. And then we're going to spin the wheel and see who wins one of these awesome, awesome prizes from geostuff.com.au.
Oh, look,
Okay, give us a countdown.
Like it. You ready? 3,
There is.
2, 1, boogie.
Wallaby Wanderers just snuck in there. I love it. Good
If you
job.
win, it looks real dodgy now, man.
Doesn't it? I know, right? Okay, looks like it's Briz Lions.
Yeah,
So Briz
Queensland
Lions, congratulations. Alrighty, I'm just going to write that down. You've won one of the Snag the Tag sets. So let me just quickly put that back on the screen so you can see what you have won. So the prize is the Snag the Tag hider pack. So you get the little tag there to hide, and then you also get a tag to keep as well. So there's 2 of these to give away. So Bruce Lines, either reach out to me on Messenger, or I will send you a message. Please make sure you actually make an account if you don't already have one and hide it. So, Thomas, we're going to move on to the next prize, which is the exact same prize, just for a different person this time. Give me a countdown.
Oh, I was going to pick somebody off. Look, I'll pick a favourite now. Right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, dear.
Come on, 2 from 2 Queenslanders.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah, sorry.
Is it going to be a Queenslander? Could you imagine? Who is it?
I tried, guys.
Cicada. I'm going to say it's cicada. Cicada. I'm going cicada. Cicada, congratulations. You have won a Snag the Tag. Now, for everyone out there in watching land, there is only one more of the green door hider packs left on geostuff.com.au. So if you would like to hide a Snag the Tag, jump onto geostuff.com.au really quickly, because there is only one more left of the green door hider tags. There you go. Shamad has put one out. Congratulations. There we go. All right, so congratulations to the winners. If you are still in a chat room, please let me know if you think you will not be able to hide the tag as intended, and we will redraw before the end of the show. But congratulations to Briz Lions and Cicada. That is good. You get him, DTY. You get him. Watch out, Cicada. Yes, exactly. Fabulous. So congratulations to the winners there. And thank you very, very much, John and Di from geostuff.com.au for those prizes valued at nearly $60 each one. And they've given away 2. So thank you very much. Very appreciative of that. Okay, so if you enjoyed tonight's show, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on Facebook and YouTube. That way you'll get notified whenever there is a show going live or published. Don't forget, if you want to write in with your stories or questions, you can do so at geocachingdownunder@gmail.com and let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods or if there's a story you'd like to share. Now, I also need to ask another favor of you all out there. If there's a topic that you would like to see on the show in 2025, please reach out to me and let me know. So if there's a specific part of geocaching that you would like to explore further, or you know someone who has a really amazing story and you'd like to get them on the show, please reach out and let me know. But if it is something like I want to understand more about how to do a Where I Go, then let me know and I will try and find someone or get a panel and we will explore that topic further. So I'm up for your suggestions, and I would like to know what you would like to see and listen to on the show. So thank you very much. Massive thanks to our sponsors tonight. As always, Lainey at LK Consulting Group for the marketing, mentoring, and the coaching program. Thank you very much. If you need any marketing for your business, please reach out to LK Consulting Group. Thank you to John and Di at geostuff.com.au. For your continued support of the show and your massive generosity. The pair of you are absolutely beautiful human beings, so thank you very much. Big thank you to See My Shell, a sponsor of the show who does our audio and video editing, so thank you very much. It helps me out greatly. And thank you to my mum for supporting the show as well. Big thank you. Now, to the other people who are supporting the show, our Patreons. Let's do a quick shout out to our Patreons.
G'day PCE and the GDU family. Now, just like this tree has a big trunk to support its leaves and branches, you too can support this particular podcast on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/GDU podcast. Links are in the description below, and you too can be one of the main supporters of this channel for as little as $3 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee. This is See My Shell. Thanks for watching or listening. I'm over and out.
That is it. Thank you very much, SMS. Okay, so big thank you to Patreons of the Geocaching Down Under podcast. See My Shell, Kitty Catch, Kingfisher AU, Snappy Tomcats, Julie, Darren Archer, DTY73, Wollaston, Founded Podcast, Team Casho, Hev Walker, James0116, Darkside Dan. Happy birthday, mate. It's his birthday today, everybody. Wish Darkside Dan a happy birthday. Woo! Scramping, Mighty Minions, Lee737, Geo Joe, Contester, and Gliss. We've got Allied Oz, Arnott Family, Cosmonaut97, Isopeta, Oz Glory, Pilot Jen, Roddy C, Young Old Fella, Tank Engine, Choo Choo, Bernie H, Burns345. We've also got Chook and Chump, the People's Choice Award winners. Ben M70, Strange Trousers, Shawfoot24, Da Humbug, Datsun 1600, Bucko Raider, DFC, JLK2019, Angel G, Mama Bear 66, Toy Hunters, and our newest Patreon, Duppers. So thank you very much for supporting the podcast. I really couldn't do it without you. You do cover the cost of running the show. I see the wind's picking up where you are, Thomas.
Yep, it's not a virtual background, this one.
Either that or the ghosts have arrived.
Ooh, Halloween's late, yep.
That's it. So thank you, everyone, for being here live, and thank you for submitting all your questions for Jingeri. It's been really good. It's been fabulous to see all your questions come in, so thank you. That's been really good. Don't forget, you can watch the replay on YouTube or Facebook, and you can also listen to it on your favorite podcasting app. So big thank you to my sponsors, Patreons, and thank you to you for tuning in live each month. Very, very appreciative. Big thank you to you, Thomas, for taking time out of your evening. Really, really appreciate it. It's been very interesting.
Good fun, yeah, and I'm always happy to answer questions.
Oh, good. Thank you. We like that. We like that. So hope everyone has a great evening. We will see you on the 10th of December for the next show. And remember, if you've got any ideas for topics for next year, please reach out. Let me know. Give me some time to organise what you want to see. Be great fun. So I'm PCE from GDU. And remember, to get lost, to get found with GDU. There we go. All right. So, Thomas, we are still live into the chat room. Let's see who's hanging around and what they're after. I missed the last.
Is this where I take my shirt off, or was that the other thing?
No, that's Patreon. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
right,
for the paid,
cool.
paid viewers. Yep, paid viewers.
Good.
They get to see that.
It's very kind. All the thanks kicking on in the chat.
Exactly. Oh, dear. Yes, Minnie K, very informative. Thank you. That is good. Very informative. Heb Wather, thanks for a great show. Thank you. Yeah, that's right, Darren Archer. It is a big Patreon crew these days. It's fantastic. So, what else we got here?
GDU after hours.
Dearie me.
I'm going to add that to the list of things to do.
That's a worry. Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you, Jess. Thank you for joining live. Thank you, Ziggy. Appreciate it. Oh, dear. OnlyFans. GDU OnlyFans. What would I do? What would I do? Just open geocaches slowly or... You know?
I don't know. Sign the logbook real like
sign the logbook
or something.
Yeah, running writing.
Yeah, we can talk about mangroves and getting dirty while geocaching.
That's it. It's a whole other tier, Patrick. It's a whole other tier of Patreon. That's it.
Really brought things down a notch, haven't I?
Oh, here you go. Here's the question for you. When do virtuals have to be in?
That's another one.
Do
Check
you know?
what they said in the blog. I think it's like January or something. And again, I'm panicking because I've got one. I'm not sure what to do with it. Yeah.
Oh dear.
There was
Thank
a question
you,
before. I know we skipped, so I don't know if they're still here. It was something about will reviewing ever be? Here it is. Could you ever see reviewing being a paid thing? And sorry for whoever's driving the chat. The short answer is no. And that's just straight up from like, yeah, there you go. Cheers, Liam. If you think of it from HQ's perspective, I mean, they've got a bunch of employees already, and there is, I forget how many reviewers there are worldwide. Is it 150 or something? Plus translators, moderators, right? So the money would add up real quick. And there's a lot of people, a lot of suckers out there just like me who would happily do it for free.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Mind you, volunteering is huge in Australia. Like so many people volunteer. So
yeah, 400ish. Yeah, cheers, Andrew. Cool.
yeah.
So we should get Andrew on next time. He knows what he's talking about. Oh, look, and he's not
Well,
the virtual stuff.
Look out, Andrew. I'm sending you a message. Okay. You could be my reviewer for 2025. So let me just put that back up on the screen here for you, Jess. Recipients will have 1 year to create their virtual cache page and submit it for review. So you've got until January 17th, 2025. So you've got 3 months. You've got 3 months to submit. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, Jess. You have still got 3. Oh, you're busy that day. You don't even know what day it is. I'm just going to...
You'll be fine, Andrew. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And yes, good point there, Ziggy. Sydney GeoQuest. People you can put into volunteer at the Sydney GeoQuest. Just go through the website and submit some time for that. Will you do a back to GDU for Christmas with all your guests? My goodness, could you imagine? 14 guests on the show at once. I don't think it'd be very productive. Be a lot of noise. But that'd be good. We could do something. Be like, yeah, the GDU class of 2024. Oh, what's this? Absurdiaville mega in 2027. Oh, we need more details, Google. Hi. Where is that?
2027.
Absurdionville.
That's nearly as bad as me fantasizing about hosting a Brisbane mega in correlation with the Olympics in 2032. It's just so far in advance.
Plenty of time to organise. I like it. Oh, dear.
Highlight
G-Triple-H,
it.
we need some more details.
So if you've got all 14 people on, do we all have to get our shirts off after for the bonus episode?
Yeah, for that extra tier of Patreons, the After Hours GDU.
What am I doing?
Goodness me. You are leading us back into the mangroves, aren't you?
Always. Look, yep.
Oh, G-Triple-H, I thought it was an actual event. Come on.
What's happened now?
Need to do a Tamworth trip, yes.
Also, whoever asked about that geocache, I looked up the GC code and embarrassingly I see it's in Brisbane. So there you go. I had forgotten it. Yeah, it looks complex.
There you go. Andrew Bush has just dropped you in it. You geocache alone, can you tell?
Look, we're not going down the Nufus route. We're not doing it.
Ziggy, you've dropped yourself in it. Just realised that you'd be in the shirt raising at the end of the year. I know you were one of the guests. This is going to be a hell of a highlight reel, I'll tell you.
I apologise in advance.
Yeah. You'll see us all hitting the gym in the next month. Oh, dear. Cool. All right. Well, I think that is everything for this evening. Thing is, we've managed to derail the program and get off track a little bit. That's right, Roddy. Definitely shock horror. Here we go, Jess. Are virtuals hard to publish compared to other types?
No. They're quite clear, actually, in what is and is not allowed, with the logging tasks and what have you. They're no worse to publish than anything else, no harder, no easier. And there's a lot less of them. There's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Exactly, Andrew. The same green button to press. Yeah. And virtuals, it's a bit like, the other end of the spectrum is challenges, right? Where there's a heap to consider. And they're the same thing. When I'm looking at a geocache, I'll just kind of think like, I'm not super sure about that thing. And I'll just jump into the guidelines and read it. And, we've got interpretation documents as well, which just go into a bit more depth around how to read that guideline that sometimes I'll just check. But I've done that with, certain aspects of traditionals, multis, where it goes, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's good. Alrighty, well, if there are no more questions for Thomas, we might leave it there and let all you lovely people get on with the rest of your night. Oh, there we go. Quick last question from Roddy C. What map do you use to check the coordinates?
I think it's the standard one we get, I think, is one of the standard geocaching ones, whether it's Google or the Leaflet API one. It's the same one as the user map, and most of the time it's fine for most things. And I mean, you would know, Rod, like when we get near national parks and stuff, we pull up the Queensland Globe data and stuff, but the same map you're usually using, so it has all the same errors and the same boundaries and that type of thing. Which I can't remember, dude. If I've ever pushed back and asked if it's in a certain boundary or something, it's just because it's close or blurry or the map sucks in that location.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Well, I'm glad everyone enjoyed the show this evening. And again, thank you, Thomas. Really appreciate your time and imparting your wisdom on us all.
Oh, it's good fun. I love it. Thanks for having me on.
Excellent. You are welcome. Well, thank you, everybody. And we will see you on the 10th of December. We've got a big Christmas special planned for you all. So make sure, put the 10th of December into your calendars. 7:30 p.m. Daylight savings time. So Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So 6:30 in Queensland. And I think it's, like 7 o'clock in South Australia. It's probably 4 p.m. in Western Australia and all of that sort of stuff. So, yep, make sure you click the like button and follow so you don't miss a show. You'll get notified when a show gets published to go live. and you will be here. No, we're not doing that. And we will see you all in December when it is a bit closer to Christmas. That's it, 10th of December, 7:30 p.m. AEDT. So we'll see you then. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. Good luck geocaching. Don't forget to submit your pictures into the photo comp of the month, and it could go into the GDU calendar. They will be released soon. Actually, I'm in the process of designing that. So keep your eye out on our socials, and I'll put a post out when that is available to be purchased. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.